Alright, what's up everybody? Sky High Gaming back here with, I think this is going to be the third installment of my, what am I calling this? I don't know, a series of unboxing, old and classic, old, new, classic, and new, goddamn. You know what I'm trying to say, retro, old, I don't know, because retro is probably not even, is apparently not even the correct term from a video I was watching. I'm back with another unboxing of a console. As you can see, it is the 360. This is hot off the heels of my original Xbox console unboxing, if I can talk. I am literally just got done talking for pretty much an hour about that thing. I do have a cup of water because my mouth is drier than a motherfucker from all this talking. And in the video with this, the fucking hour-long video, whether you watched all the way through or not, I mentioned that I purchased an Xbox 360 pretty much complete in box. Actually, no, not pretty much. It is complete in box. Like completely complete in box. I'll get into that more. It's complete, like fully complete in box. I don't understand why I got it for as cheap as I did. And I guess this is probably, and I mean, it's a 360, so it's not like it's a retro, it's like a super old console, so it's not like a super great find. But for going to my local game store, and what I mean by local was, I mentioned in the other video that the game store I went to, which is called 8-Bit Museum, was like an hour away from me. Now, it was the only the only dedicated small business, I guess, you know, it was owned by the guy that was literally working there when I went and purchased this. It was like the only, I guess, dedicated like small game store that's not GameStop, of course. GameStop's obviously corporate. I'm talking about like little game store, like little, you know, your locally owned, you know, small business, you know, game stores. I purchased this one. I mentioned it in this video. And we're going to get to the size comparison because, as you can see, anyways, I'm not going to get to that just yet. I purchased this when I went. I was only looking for an extra controller, and I was only looking for a power brick and a power cable because I didn't have the right one at the time that was going to fit any of my other Xboxes that I showed off in this video. Which, I mean, I guess if you didn't watch that long, because people only seem to watch my videos for like the first couple minutes, I have an Xbox Elite and an arcade model. Now, I say arcade model, but that's just the SKU names that they were given. So this is the arcade, as you can tell. The arcade came with this right here, white. And then the Pro model, which is actually came in this box, it was called the Pro, had this. So that's how you could tell the difference between them. The Xbox Elite, there was 3 different models, and now that I think about it, I didn't realize this. I have all 3 models. I wanted the Elite version for the longest time. I ended up getting this one from an uncle who had to go away for a little while. And just never got it back. It just was the reality of it, and just never gave it back. Sucks. So it's mine. It's been mine ever since then. So I've actually owned this. This is one of my original consoles. Like, I've had this console for forever. Going on maybe 10 years now. I've had this thing pretty much since high school. And it worked really well until it didn't. And it's not that it doesn't work. This is actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is the original. Excuse the one. I have multiple of these. So I wrote numbers on them because I have the numbers. The numbers correspond with the games that I have on them. Regardless, whatever. I even have the original 120 gigabyte hard drive that came with the Elite models, and that's why they were more expensive. Now, it works perfectly fine. If I were to put this on there, all the downloaded games would work perfectly fine. But like I mentioned in the last video, the disk drive does not fucking work. Won't open. Does not come out. So I went to my local game store, and I was just looking for an extra controller. and I was looking for an extra battery pack, or not battery pack. I was looking for an extra power brick and power cable. Now, I bought a controller from him that I thought would work for Xbox because, actually, I'll just pull it out if I can fucking find it without wasting too much time, because the last video went on for an hour. Okay, here it is. So I had originally went there and I purchased this. Now, when you look at this, you're like, oh, A, B, X, Y. Home button. When you see this with the USB cable, you think, oh, this is a third-party Xbox 360 controller. No. This is a third-party Xbox 360 style controller that only works for the PlayStation 3 and the PC. This does not work with this. Does not work with the Elite. Does not work with any model of the 360. Why does it look like this? Why does it look like it works with the 360? Fucking beats me. So I went and I bought this thinking it would work. It did not. I plugged it into my 360. It did not read it. For whatever reason, it did not read it. It did not work. I don't fucking understand what happened there. Now, the only thing I could say was when I was showing it to you, you could see there's a turbo button. The only controllers I know that have turbo were like, what was it called? The PlayStation 2? I think that little button in the middle of it underneath the start and select button was a turbo button or whatever the fuck it was. Or it was an analog button, actually. So that's not even that accurate. I don't get it. It confused the fuck out of me when I purchased it, and it didn't work with any 360 that I put it on. It was just baffling. I was like, why does it look like that? Who's buying that controller for a PlayStation 3? Regardless, I went back to buy another controller. All his controllers were beat to fucking shit. They weren't terrible by any means, but I was looking for something that had the analog sticks that had the padding on it a decent amount. Now, there was a couple on there, but he was selling them for like $30 fucking dollars. Not only that, he had no power brick to speak of. No power brick and no power cable, because it's two separate pieces. For these 360s, and I'm pretty sure even for the Slims, it's two pieces. It's the fucking power brick that has the cable, or has the part that plugs into the console, and then you got another cable. It's all in here. You'll see it. It's got another cable that you then plug into the brick, and then that plugs into the wall. It's two separate fucking pieces. It's probably the most annoying thing in the world. It's probably the only thing about the 360 that I could not fucking stand. It was annoying. Now, I understand why the power brick was the way the brick was. I know the power brick ended up getting bigger, I think, with these models, because whatever was going on inside, I could be wrong, but this is what I've read and what I've watched, because I've watched videos of the history of these consoles. Regardless, I've watched and read that whatever was going on in the original 360s. Now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is the Pro model. I don't remember what the original Xbox 360 console came in, but I think this was the re-release Pro model, the Pro SKU. I don't know if it said Pro on it, but I think this was the Pro SKU. I'm pretty sure that's what this version is. It doesn't say Pro on here anywhere, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I think I have to double check. If anybody can correct me, it's wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. I don't mind being corrected. I appreciate it. But I'm like 90% sure, even though I may be 90% wrong, that this is the Pro SKU. And from what I read and watched and what I've heard, the Pros, like the bricks ended up getting bigger because whatever was going on in the internals of the 360s that was causing the red ring of death, I think was then transferred to the brick, making the brick even bigger than it already was with the original 360s, to circumvent any overheating issues that the 360s, the original releases of the 360s, were experiencing. So I may be wrong on that, but that's what I've heard. So I get why the power bricks were the way they were. These things consume a lot of power. And I guess the brick is a way to circumvent some kind of shit. It's what helps power. It's what it is. What it is. I just didn't like the size of the brick. It was always annoying. It was fucking hard finding some place to fucking put the bitch behind the entertainment system or what have you. It was a bitch figuring out where to put just the power brick, let alone the console. Anyways, that was the one thing I did not like about 360. Other than that, I think of what is this? The 7th generation, if I'm not mistaken, because I think we're in the 9th. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were the 8th. I think the Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation 2 were the 6th. Was it? Yes. No. The 5th. So then was this the 6th? All right. So NES, and the NES era was the 3rd generation. Then you have the SNES, and I think the Genesis, or maybe the NES and the Genesis were the 3rd. Then you have the SNES and like the Saturn or whatever. Well, I don't know about the Saturn. I have no experience. I said this in the last video. I have no experience. I don't know why I'm including the Sega consoles, because I don't know where they fall in the generations. But I'm pretty sure the NES was 3rd, SNES was the 4th, right? Then the Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation were the 5th, and this was the 6th. I mean, that's how sequential things go. Okay, so yeah. So the Xbox 360, I think, was the king of the 6th generation. Now, I know the Wii sold what the Wii sold, but let's not act like the Wii was a complete gimmick system that applied, or that what could I say? That appealed. There we go. That appealed to a wider demographic of people, and it just based on those circumstances, that's why it sold so much. The Wii, after the first 2 or 3 years of its existence, was fucking relevant. Nobody was playing their Wii after the first year or two of buying it. It was bought. They were like, ooh, I can kind of exercise, I can move around, and then that bitch was collecting dust. That bitch was collecting dust, and it was barely more powerful than the GameCube. So I mean, yes, okay, whatever. In terms of sales, it won. And even in terms of sales, the 360 still came in last, but that's only the 360 was blowing the PlayStation. Let's not mistake. The PlayStation, or the Xbox 360 was blowing the PlayStation 3 out of the fucking water for the first 90% of that generation. The only reason the PlayStation came back was because Microsoft got complacent with the 360. And towards the end of its lifespan, nothing new was coming out. There was no more reasons to buy a 360. The new generation was about to come out. It was pretty much on the edge. The fucking PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were on the edge of coming out. And the PlayStation 3, Sony decided to breathe new life in a console that was pretty much already about to be irrelevant in a year or two. And yes, they released The Last of Us, which it's what made me buy a PlayStation 3. Regardless, the 360 kicked the PS3's ass. The PS3 may have came back and sold more. I understand. May have came back and sold more by very small margin than the Xbox 360. But the 360 was absolutely whooping the PlayStation 3's ass for the majority of that generation. All my friends had a 360. Very rarely a lot of people that I knew had PlayStation 3s, and I wouldn't have played with them anyways. The PlayStation 3 was also plagued with hacks. It had a lot of online issues. This thing had way more pros than cons when it comes to the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3's online service was not great. We're not going to sit here and pretend it was, because if you wanted the gold standard of online gaming, this was it. You were not getting the PS3. Could not touch this shit. I had the Xbox 360 in one form or another, whether I had one that fucking died on me, or I had the Elite, or I had the Xbox S. There's the slim model. I'll get into that story later. Regardless, for the entire generation of the 6th generation. Now, I owned a PlayStation 3 towards the end because I'm kind of, I don't want to say completionist, but I kind of am. When it comes to the generations, I want to own every console in the generation. It's been like that since I had the fucking PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. The only thing we didn't have was the fucking like Dreamcast or the Genesis or the Saturn. By the time Sega was irrelevant. Sega fucking shit the bed with not only the Saturn but the Dreamcast. It is what it is. It seemed like for the longest time, all Sega wanted to do when it came to the Saturn was just murder it and leave it dead in the water to then move on to the Dreamcast to then just do the fucking same with the Dreamcast. It seems like the only console that they did any kind of like that they actually tried with was the Genesis. I will be collecting all of those. I just purchased the Dreamcast. It should be shipped hopefully this Monday. Anyways, all that's to say, I love this fucking console. The Xbox 360, in my opinion, was the king of the 6th generation. And obviously, yes, it didn't sell the most. It didn't even come in fucking second place. I understand. But other than a final fucking last minute push from Sony to get more sales with The Last of Us and the console, the super slim PlayStation 3 iteration to sell more consoles, they were playing catch up with the 360 the entire time. So to me, this was where it was at in the 6th generation. And I think with the abysmal sales, not really abysmal, but with the low sales of the original Xbox, the abysmal fucking sales of the Xbox One, I think we can all let Microsoft have one. I think we can let them have one. I don't understand why that would be a problem. They can have one. The fucking 360 was where it was at in the 6th generation. I love the 360. I have 3 different models. I will have 4 different models by the end of it because I have a couple Kinects. I honestly don't even know where I got the Kinects from. I don't know how they came into my possession, but I have 2 Kinects. And they don't work with this version. They don't work with the Elite. They don't work with the Arcade. They don't work with any version of the Xbox 360 I have. So now I'm forced to eventually go and buy an Xbox 360S. I don't want the E. The E looks fucking ugly. It looks like a wannabe Xbox One because I think the Xbox One had came out when they did the E. Or it was about to. I think the Xbox One was announced and they re-released a new 360 and the E. It's fucking, it's ugly. Now, I do like the Xbox 360S, the slim model, I guess you can call it. I do like that because when the Elite stopped, the disk drive stopped working on the Elite, my original Xbox Red Ring of Death on my ass, I didn't really have a dedicated Xbox 360 console anymore. We were using the Elite. My grandma was still using the Elite to watch Netflix and shit like that, and that was probably one of the other downsides of it. Is like to do anything on the 360, you had to have Xbox Live Gold. But I mean, shit. With great online gaming capability, I mean, you gotta pay a little bit. I mean, as great as it was worth the $10 a month, I think it was, or something like that. Obviously, I think it's more now, whatever. But it was definitely worth it. And even PlayStation ended up moving into that kind of into that business plan. They saw that, you know, maybe they should charge. So that way they don't fucking get hacked every other year. And they actually have a decent fucking online service. They took a couple notes from 360. So, I mean, when you can't beat them, you kind of got to join them. So, yeah. So, I think they were using the Elite. That disk drive didn't work for Netflix and shit like that. So, I didn't really have a dedicated gaming Xbox 360 anymore because the disk drive on the Elite that I showed earlier didn't work anymore. So I ended up getting, as a gift, an Xbox 360S, the Slim, whatever. And it was a 4 gigabyte. It didn't come with any fucking hard drive. So that's the shitty part about the S, is unless you shelled out the extra money to get one with a hard drive, it only came with 4 gigabytes of onboard memory, which is just dog shit. It's horrible. But I got that, and I had a Kinect. It came with the Kinect, obviously, and that's when the Kinect started blowing up and shit like that. That's the only time the Kinect was popular. I think it was for like a couple years. when it was brand new, and it was off the back of the Wii. It was like, oh look, we can do this too type of shit. Anyways, I had got the Xbox 360S from my uncle, and I played the crap out of it. I think I ended up selling that too, like an idiot. So yeah. Anyways, I've owned pretty much every version of the 360 except for the E. I even owned one, that Red Ring of Death, the Red Ring of Death series of Xbox 360s, I like to call them. I don't know what else to fucking call them. The original releases. So, again, like I said, I bought this one from 8-Bit Museum in Southwest Florida. And I was actually, it was like $100. It was stupid cheap. I was not expecting it to be as complete as it is. I mean, obviously, it was in box. I was like, ooh, it's got the box. It's going to come with a controller, he told me, and the power cable. I didn't realize that this re-release, I'm pretty sure this is the Pro. I'm going based off that assumption, so there's no confusion here. I saw this. Now, usually when you see a lot of these stickers and shit like that, when you buy them secondhand, it's like, all right, you got to expect not to be able to get the games. I put this thing back together because I have busted it out and used the power cable and the controller, because like I said, I bought this solely for the power brick, the power cable, and the controller. So the only thing is, this was supposed to come with the hard drive, which it comes with, a headset. I think the Pro model came with like a headset. I don't know if it came with I think it came with a wired headset, and other stuff. A component HD AV cable, which I think it doesn't have the AV cable, or the HD AV cable. I think it has I think we'll see. But I think this one was supposed to come with like, all right, yeah, it was supposed to come with like a headset. It was supposed to come with the component. Yes, okay, so it is component. The other one's composite. Okay. All right, well, I was having a confusion with this one, so it's composite. So it's supposed to come with the composite HD cable, Ethernet connectivity cable, which it did not come with that. It was supposed to, and a wired headset, hard drive, and a controller. Hard drive was only 20 gigabytes, not great. The controller, it did come with. It didn't come with the headset, and I don't think it came with the HD component cables. I think it came with composite cables. We'll double check that. It didn't come with the headset either. So I say it's complete. I'm saying it's complete in box, but that's because the only thing it was missing is the headset and the Ethernet cable. And I'm not going to fault it for not having that, because those are easily lost and easily damaged. I didn't want to use anybody else's headset anyways, because you spit on that shit, you're yelling into it, it gets damaged, the foam on the mic itself starts to rip off, the ear part starts to rip off. It came as complete as possible, and it came even more complete than I thought it was, because not only did it come with the cables, the controller, the console, and the hard drive, as well as all the original manual and paperwork, but the biggest surprise to me was when I got it home and opened it, it still came with the games, the Forza 2 Motorsport and Ultimate Alliance. It came with those. As you will see, I put it all back together so we can unbox it. All right, so just get into it, open it up. So I don't know if this was originally, okay, so I didn't get it brand new, so I don't know how it was, I don't know if it was actually thrown on top like that when they sold it, or if it was down there or whatever, but it came with the fucking games, which was shocking. Now, of course, it came with this, I don't know, it's not accordion style, but you know what I mean. It came with both games, but it's got both manuals. It came with both games and both manuals, which was pretty incredible. I was when I purchased this, I was actually not expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to come with the games, which is pretty cool, because now technically I have both these games added into my collection. Now, unfortunately, Forza Motorsports, well, I guess both of them, the artwork is kind of cut off because you got all this other shit right here. And yes, I'm using my phone camera's light because I don't have good lighting in this area. I keep hitting this fucking tripod. So there's gonna be a hell of a glare, but I'm trying to get it to where you can see some of the stuff. So it came with the games. I was super shocked about that. So it came with the games. If I can get this. And then it came with the Xbox. Now, it seems like maybe I was wrong. Now, I could have swore with the Pro models. Let's move this over a little bit. With the Pro models, I could have swore it came with a silver finish to the disk drive. And this one's kind of matte white. I may be wrong about that. But this is the Xbox. It came with the hard drive. This is actually a 120 gigabyte hard drive. I was actually shocked to see this. I actually still am shocked to see. That's crazy. This is a 120 gigabyte hard drive. Now, I don't know if that was the original hard drive that came with this particular model, because I don't think I remember the Pros coming with a 120 gigabyte model. I thought it was like a 60 or something. I'm not exactly sure. But then, as you can see, all paperwork, even down to whatever the fuck this is. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. I'm all over the place with it. So this is a contract invoice. Something. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is actually... So all the Xboxes that I got that were like this, I didn't get in box. They were always hand-me-downs. Even the Xbox Elite, I didn't open that one myself. That was my uncle's, and he opened it, and the packaging got lost to time and shit like that. So this is probably the most complete Xbox 360 of, like, I don't know what to call these. The original run of the Xbox 360 that I have. Oh, and it looks like gold was $5 a month back then, not 10. This is the warranty booklet, which is irrelevant now. This, I don't know what the fuck this is, portable music player. All right, I'm back, because the video is running on very long. I'm running out of fucking storage space on my storage space, God damn, I cannot talk. Storage space on my iPhone. Because I'm recording all these in 4K. Why am I recording them in 4K? I don't know. I should just be recording them in HD. Maybe they won't take up so much space. I don't know. I have the ability for 4K, so I'm trying to do the best I can with, the best quality I can. Maybe it's not the best idea. Anyways, there's going to be a significant drop in probably, what am I trying to say here? Quality, yes, a significant drop in quality, because now this is just normal HD and not 4K anymore. It's still 60 frames per second. But back to what I was doing. This is, Xbox Live Arcade. Okay, so this is the original booklet. Really cool stuff. All right, so the video's running on pretty long, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So I hate this. It's getting messed up the more I open and close it, but it has power cable. It is the HD component cables. So I have the HD component cables right there, and then the fucking massive power brick right there that's about to fall out. And then the controller. This is the controller that came with it. Now, the controller, honestly, excuse me, is not in any better condition than any of the other controllers he did have. As you can see, the rubber padding is kind of off of that one. This one still pretty much has it all. On the sides a little bit, it's coming off. Some scratches on there, maybe just need some cleaning, but everything works perfectly. Buttons work awesome. So I think this was a pretty good find at a local game store. I was gonna say GameStop. At a local game store that is, small business owned and everything like that. But actually the thing I wanted to do next, I want to try to put all this back together. Give me one quick second. All right, you fucking big power brick, get back to you. There. Ooh, I got that perfect that time. All right. So I'll put everything fucking back in there. I put the game back in there, the games back in there, so that way it was as complete as I got it. But I actually am gonna keep that out because it's actually, I got it on some shelves with the rest of my collection, the small collection that I still have. But the one thing I did want to go ahead and do right now was look at the difference in sizes between the two boxes. Can't really see, but look how massive the original Xbox boxes compared to the Xbox 360. It's no secret that the Xbox 360 is obviously considerably smaller console than the Xbox, the original Xbox, it being kind of a behemoth of a console. It's just crazy. This is so small, compact, and slick looking, and this one is big, fucking chunky, fucking space consuming. But I mean, that's my collection. Well, I mean, I have the Xbox Series X box. I probably should have brought that out here, but I'm not going to waste any time and go and grab that. But I also have my Xbox Series X console box. I'm going to hold on to that because, again, I'm going to set these up on either some floating shelves, or I'm going to figure out a way to put these on the wall that doesn't damage them. I don't know how Spawnwave does his, but if he sticks them to the wall with some sticky shit, I would not do that. I just don't want to ruin the boxes. That's the whole point of me purchasing all these, was because I want the boxes to stay in as great as condition as possible. So I won't stick them to the wall in any kind of dangerous way. I'm probably just going to go the floating shelf route. Is probably what I'm going to end up doing. And I don't know if this is what started it, because opening this kind of awakened some nostalgia shit inside of me. And I don't know, I got this not even a year ago. It wasn't even a year ago that I purchased this to get because I had Left 4 Dead. I wanted to play Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I have Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I had it for the Xbox, and I wanted to play it with my fiance. She had never played it, and she's into playing some games. She's not a big gamer, but she's into gaming a little bit. And she ended up liking the game. We never finished it together, but I wanted her to experience some of the game with me, and I wanted to play with her. So I had to get a power cable for the Xbox 360 that I had, which is the one I showed you, that white one, and another controller, because I only had one working controller at the time. And I purchased another controller, obviously, as I showed in the beginning of this video, with that only worked for goddamn PlayStation 3s, apparently, even though it looks like an Xbox 360 controller. I don't know. It is what it is. So I ended up purchasing this. I unboxed it. It was kind of surreal because I hadn't unboxed this version of the Xbox 360. They were always handed down to me. So I don't know if this subconsciously stirred up something in me. And now, almost a year later, it made me want to go back and collect all the consoles as complete in box as possible. But opening this one was a treat. And that was in the last video. Again, it's like an hour video. This one's running into 40 minutes now. But I'm probably going to end it here. I kind of like the way this looks. This is probably going to be, this will probably end up being the thumbnail for both the videos. I'm recording these back to back. And the next one I just ordered a Dreamcast. So the next one you will be seeing from me is the Sega Dreamcast unboxing, and it is pretty much like this. It's got two controllers. The second controller is a third-party controller. In box, the Sega Dreamcast is in box with all the paperwork, everything, all the plastic wrap, even for the console. It's exciting. I'm excited to be getting that. I've never had a Dreamcast. I have never owned any Sega console, but I will also be collecting the Sega consoles along with every Xbox console, every Nintendo console, and every Sony console. As you can see, I started with the PlayStation 1. I do have PlayStation 2s, although they are spotty at best, so I will probably be getting another complete in-box PlayStation 2. I eventually want to get a backwards compatible fat PlayStation 3, although those run very expensive, especially the one I want to get, which I think is the CECHA01. I'm trying to go off the top of my head with that one, but yes, I'm trying to. There's still a few options, but I think that might be what I go towards next. Is what I'm gonna save towards next, because those are getting particularly harder and harder to find, even just with the box. I don't think it'll be with the wrapping, like with the plastic wrap around, like the Dreamcast I'm gonna unbox, or like with this Xbox. But as long as I can get it in box with some of the styrofoam or most of the cardboard paperwork and stuff like that, I will be happy. So that's gonna probably be the next venture I start saving money for, because those are getting harder to find. I've looked on eBay. There's, surprisingly, as old as they are, there's still a lot of NESs, SNESs, Nintendo 64s, Saturns, and Genesis that are all pretty complete in box. Not brand new. I'm not buying anything brand new, but pretty much complete in box. Now, some of them have styrofoam, some of them don't. And they're not fucking crazy expensive. So, I think there's still enough of those out there floating around that I can attack the PS3, the CECHA01, which the reason I'm getting that one is because that one is completely backwards compatible with all PlayStation 2, pretty much, because it's got the hardware of the PlayStation 2. Now, there's another one, which I think is the EO1, which is software emulation PS2 backwards compatible, which is not compatible with every single one. It's only compatible with a certain amount of games. I'm going to wrap it up, I promise. This video is going long too, but just explaining where I'm going next. So it'll be the Dreamcast. I'm probably going to try to get the CECH A01 PlayStation 3, because that one is hardware backwards compatible. The EO1 is software backwards compatible, and I want it to where it's pretty much got a built-in PlayStation 2 in it, because that's what the AO1 pretty much is. It's got the guts of a PlayStation 3, of course, but it's also still got the guts of a PlayStation 2. So you could pretty much stick any PlayStation 2 in that bitch, as long, because I know the PlayStation 2 is region locked, so as long as it's, for me, it'd be North American PlayStation 2, and it should play any PlayStation 2 game. Because again, it's a hardware backwards compatibility, not software like the EO1. Now, again, I might be getting the serial numbers wrong or whatever they are, but I know the AO1 is the one that I want because it's hardware backwards compatible. So that's where I'm probably going to go to next. That'll probably be after the Dreamcast. That'll probably be the next unboxing you see from me, because I want the one that is hardware backwards compatible. And those are getting harder and harder to find with boxes, with everything included, with the styrofoam. I don't think it has styrofoam, but with the cardboard, the paperwork, the controller, everything included. Those are getting incredibly hard to find. They're getting rarer and rarer, which is weird, because those are getting rarer than even the consoles that are over 20 years old, like the NES and the SNES. I've looked on eBay, and I can still find, this still got over like 100 results for like the NES and the SNES that are like complete in box with like styrofoam and everything. So I'm probably gonna go after that PlayStation 3 next, so I can check that one off there, and then I'll probably go back and go way back and start getting the NES. And the Genesis and the SNES and the Saturn, and those complete in box. And I technically already have the Dreamcast. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered. So once I get the Genesis and the Saturn, I think that does it for the Sega consoles. I don't want the Sega Master System. I think, I don't know if I don't know Sega consoles at all. I don't know if the Master System and the Genesis are one and the same technically, and the Master System is what it is called in Japan. I don't fucking know. But that'll complete me for the Sega console. I want the Genesis, the Saturn, and the Dreamcast. That's it, and I'll get the games for it. So I think I'll get the PlayStation 3 that's hardware backwards compatible with PlayStation 2, and then I will start attacking the older consoles, because those will start getting harder to find, as well as I know the original the original NES has issues with the pins when it's the side loader one, when it's the front loader, I guess I should call it. So a lot of the systems I'm going to have duplicates. I already have another Xbox. It's not in great condition, but I do have another Xbox that I actually will probably end up playing mostly because it's missing the front plate. It's already kind of beat up. It's got the skull. I might show it at some point in another video, probably in the Xbox One video when I do that, because I don't have an Xbox One. I have an Xbox One X or S, but I'm going to get an Xbox One X complete in box, and I'm going to unbox that on, because I don't have. So that'll complete my the Xbox series of consoles. consoles, because I have every one now but the Xbox One, which is weird because this would technically be the Xbox One. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. So that's where I'm headed to. I'm gonna get the PlayStation 3 that's backwards compatible hardware wise with the PlayStation 2. I know I've said that a million times already. And then I'm going to go back and attack the older consoles. So I'll probably start with the NES. I might start with the Nintendo consoles first. So I'll probably get the NES, the SNES, and then the 64, all complete in box with styrofoam, as complete as possible. And then my plans are to get duplicates of every system. So I'm gonna probably get a duplicate NES, and the duplicate NES I'm gonna get is a top loader, because apparently the top loader, I don't think is region locked. Apparently you can put any game in it and it'll run it, as well as it is a lot more reliable than the front loader. Top loader is apparently so much more reliable than the front loader. So the front loader is just, I'm gonna get the front loader complete in box, so I have it. That'll be on my wall of box, you know, the box will be on my wall of boxes of consoles in my game room eventually when I have more space. And I can show all my consoles off and show, you know, on the shelves, and I can show the boxes off on the wall. That's the whole point of getting all these like this, is because I will eventually take the consoles out. I will put them all on shelves, and then I will have a wall of the boxes, kind of like posters, but of the boxes. And so I'm going to get duplicates of every system, so that way if I have to take stuff from one system and repair it with another one, I can do that, or I can use another system and let the other one sit, and I can use the other one, you know, for other shit. That way I have one that's sitting and is always pretty much in good condition. I'll clean it and make sure it works, and I'll use it, but I'll have one that I'll always use. It's like your, you know, like your daily driver or whatever, and one that is kind of like is a special one, you know, that you don't touch as much, but you do you do take it off the shelf every once in a while to keep it running. You know, you don't want to let the gas sit in it. Okay, obviously I'm making car references. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. So I'll have duplicate consoles, so that way I have a daily driver console, and then I have a console that I only take out occasionally to make sure it still works, to clean up, and then mainly to have it for display purposes. So the top loader of the NES is apparently a lot more reliable than the front loader of NES. So that's where I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to do. The duplicate consoles, I don't know. I mean, maybe for the NES, I'm not going to get it complete in box. The top loader NES, I'm just going to purchase that as is, out of box, and of course working, because I need it to work. That's going to be the main NES I use. So I'm going to get a top loader, but I'm not going to get it complete in box or anything like that. But I mean, if there's interest, I'll still unbox whatever I get from eBay from that, just to show it off, and then maybe, you know, plug it in. I might do a series where I plug all these systems in, make sure they work. And I have a capture card that I can use to capture the, you know, the gameplay and shit like that. So I might do that to show, you know, to keep the series going. It's like, okay, well, I bought them all. They look great. They look like they work, but do they actually work? So I won't do that in these videos, because obviously these videos are already going on really long. This one's about to be a 40-minute video. If not, it is already a 40-minute video. So I'm going to wrap it up here. So that's where I'm going. I hope you join me on this journey quest of mine to complete my gaming collection, whether, you know, it's going to be the consoles and the games. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with the games. I don't know if I'm going to order them off eBay and unbox them here. I might. I don't know. I do eventually plan to start putting gameplay videos of everything up. I don't know if I'll do full walkthroughs, or if I just might do just, you know, quick gameplay videos for the NES. I know a lot of the games don't have a save feature, so it's going to be harder to do like a full gameplay walkthrough type, you know, let's play of that. But of the games that I can save, I probably will go ahead and, you know, walk through some of the games that I can, like, you know, the games I can save on here and stuff like that. So I might do let's plays of that where it's the full game and I see it all the way through. But for like the NES era, it might just be, you know, short burst gameplays here and there. But that's what I have planned. I hope you join me on the adventure. See if, you know, I get anything shitty from eBay. We will see. But that's the main, you know, that's what the main entertainment point of this is going to be. It's going to be my raw reaction if I open a box one day and it's a bunch of styrofoam and cat turds. So yeah, I hope you join me on this adventure. If you watched the video all the way through, I love you. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.